Hey, it is Rick Kamla. It is Hall of Famer Steve Alexander. We are the Fantasy NBA today. What's up, everybody? Big show for you. Two of the most interesting teams in the league, and especially heading into this offseason of question marks and possible change, the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers. But first, BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. With baseball season in full swing, we're deep into the NBA and NHL finals. BetOnline has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played. We're keeping the dog days of summer rolling with the largest selection of odds on everything. Updated odds on MLB, UFC, boxing, tennis, NFL futures. BetOnline remains the best online source for all your sports wagering info. And in between games, head over to the BetOnline casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and a live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here. Doc, it's time to talk about the Celtics. Who is your fantasy MVP on the Boston Celtics this year?
I mean, I guess it's my guy, Jason Tatum, right? I don't know who else it would be. I guess, you know what? I mean, honestly, it could be Derek White without too much of a stretch. That dude, for where he was drafted and what he brings to the table, I think Derek White is right there with Tatum and Brown and Porzingis. But Brown only played 63 games. Porzingis only played 42. Derek White played 76 games. He played more games than Jason Tatum did. You know what, Rick? I'm just going to say Derek White because I know you're going to say Jason Tatum.
And also because you're a hater.
And because I am a hater. Damn straight. Derek White, my man, 16 points, 4.5 boards, 5 assists, a steal, a block, a bunch of threes. Did you know Derek White averaged a steal and a block, Rick?
I did. And like 3.3 or 3.5 threes or something. Yeah, the fantasy gold is crazy from that guy.
And let's see. I want to look and see where he finished in the rankings because I have not looked at that yet. It has to be pretty freaking high.
I bet he had second round value. What did he have?
27th, third round.
Third round value. High third round value. Yeah, and Doc's just not a big Jason Tatum guy. I actually am. Like, I don't have a jersey or a polo, not like that. He's not one of my guys like that. But, dude, we got to respect this, man. His PRA was 27, 9, and 6. That's incredible. That's literally an incredible PRA. 1.3 combined defensive stats. It's in the neighborhood. It's decent. 3.5 threes from Jason Tatum per game. 72 games. Obviously ruptured his right Achilles tendon during game 4 on May 12th. And let's say it's 9 months out. That puts it at like a February deal. It's an Achilles. Maybe 9 months isn't enough. If it's 10, it's March. If it's 11, it's April. And if it's, the full deal, then it's May, and Boston would not make it that far in the playoffs without Jason Tatum. Obviously, we're heading into a very weird, kind of uncharted territory offseason for this squad. But I think we got to respect the stat line that Jason Tatum is putting up right now, man. We also got to respect his availability. He is durable, and he shows up and plays. But I'm just saying this for our audience, Doc, because I know I'm not going to win you over with this passionate soliloquy about Jason Tatum. I know that ship has already sailed. But for the rest of those people out there.
No, man. I mean, Tatum's numbers are very, very good. He's a very good basketball player. There's no doubt about it. I'm not going to argue that. He's just a little corny, too corny for my liking, but whatever. But
that video you sent to me with the guy breaking down all the corny stuff, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Dude, let me ask you a question. This is literally out of my ear. Let's say Jason Tatum was perfectly healthy. Okay, no Achilles. Would he be a first round pick for you or a second round pick, or would you take all the guards over Tatum? The Cades, the Currys, the Edwards, the Halleys. Like, is there any scenario where you would take Jason Tatum, if healthy, 9, 10, 11, 12 in a first round 12-team draft.
I don't think so, because the one year I did it, his numbers are nice, but he doesn't do anything incredibly well. And I just don't. I think it's very hard to win if you have Jason Tatum as your first round pick. It's just how.
Would you, if again, no injuries, perfectly healthy, he makes it through the first round, you're at 14. Okay, so at 11, you took, I don't know, Trae Young, and now you're back up at 14. Would you mess around with Jason Tatum at that point?
I would. Yeah. If I could get him at 14 or 15, I absolutely would. I just don't want to take him at 8 or 9.
I understand.
Which is where you have to take him.
I'm really glad I asked. That was good stuff, dude. All right, back to our rundown here, Doc. Surprising players for the Boston Celtics this year.
Let me get back to my sheet. Well, Derek White was amazing. He really was, and I think. Like, you probably drafted, if you drafted Derek White, you probably got him extremely late. And the list of guys, like in a 30 deep, he went at 58. So you get him 58th, and on the list of players he was better than in fantasy, reads like it's a pretty good read. Devin Booker, Donovan Mitchell, Ivica Zubac, who had a career year, Josh Hart, Tyler Hero, Desmond Bane, OG Anunoby, Jaren Jackson Jr., Jimmy Butler, De'Aaron Fox. Like, that's a pretty solid group of people that Derek White is. This is a guy you can get in the 5th round of your draft that's going to easily give you 3rd round value. Now that Jason Tatum's out, who knows what the ceiling is for Derek. So, I love that guy. Obviously, Derek White is awesome. Peyton Pritchard surprised me a little bit. 80 games played, 14 points a game. That dude just bombs 3-pointers. Wins a lot of people money by hitting 3-pointers, I think. And those were the 2 pleasant surprises for me. An unpleasant surprise was Drew Holiday. We'll talk about him in a minute. And then Al Horford only played in 60 games. I was surprised by that.
No doubt, dude. No doubt. I was just looking something up here real quick and not getting very far with it. Because I just thought, like, and I'll give you my answer. I didn't answer my own question on Jason Tatum. Again, without the injury, right? The 14th pick, 2nd pick in the set, like, that's all day for Jason Tatum with that fat stat line. I would probably take Tatum over Curry. I think Curry is a pretty consistent injury risk. Jason Tatum has quite a bit better PRA than Steph Curry. Steph Curry was at 4.4 threes. Tatum's at 3.5, so there's a separation there, but it's not crazy. And then I think the percentages are going to kind of lean towards Tatum a little bit too, especially with the field goal percentage. I would probably take Tatum over Curry. I couldn't see myself taking Tatum above Ant-Man or Hallie or Cade or Trae Young. So there's your answer there. I would take him over Curry just because of Curry's age and the propensity to miss games. And then, like Doc said, early in the 2nd round is a no-brainer for Jason Tatum. Surprising players for me were Peyton Pritchard. I thought he'd have a good year, but I didn't think he was going to win 6th man of the year and have all those threes and have all these big games and have all these like buzzer-beating shots. It was kind of the year of Pritchard in a way. And Luke Cornett, he had the 7-block game against the Knicks in the playoffs and had some real spike moments in the regular season. So those 2 guys surprised me a little bit. I want to tell you about the Sports Ethos app. We're making huge investments in what we call the next generation of Sports Ethos. The past 12 months have been a game changer for us on all fronts. We're working hard behind the scenes to deliver the best fantasy product you've ever experienced. You want a taste of it? Download our app and stay on top of all the latest news for NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball. Plus, take advantage of our fantasy basketball tools. Our app is your ultimate edge. Don't miss out. And again, it's free. It will cost you nothing. All right, disappointing players, Doc, for the Boston Celtics this year.
Well, Kristaps Porzingis and his 42 games played, and we knew it going in, right? Like, Porzingis is a luxury item to this team. They don't need him out there every day. They're going to walk into the playoffs even if they're wearing a blindfold. Like, they could have made the playoffs with half their roster. So Porzingis was a luxury, which sucks if you had him in fantasy because you literally got a half season out of him, just as we expected. Drew Holiday looks like a shell of his former self. Like, it was not that long ago that Drew Holiday was like a fantasy monster type guy. And now he's a fantasy afterthought. And 0.9 steals, 0.9, and then I just lost him. 0.4 blocks, 1.1 steals. Just not where it used to be. And 11 points and 4 assists and 4 rebounds. This is just a bad season for Drew Holiday. And Derek White is responsible for a lot of that. I mean, Derek White's a better player at this point than Drew Holiday is. Al Horford only playing in 60 games was a buzzkill for yours truly because I was relying on Al Horford as one of my late center picks in fantasy leagues, and he just didn't play enough games to really make a big difference. He also only averaged 9 points and 6 boards. Outside of that, I think those are that's my list. Rick, you are muted.
My bad, yo. Disappointing for me was Jaylen Brown, Doc. You mentioned the games played, and look, he was playing through a pretty significant injury, and came back before he was fully ready. You know, at the end of the year for the playoff run, the guy played hurt, so I do appreciate that, and he's had pretty good attendance, Doc. Games played 78, 70, 74, 57, 58. Those were the COVID years. Then 66, 67, 70, 63. So like non-COVID hit or truncated, this is the lowest games he's played. The points have gone from 26.6 to 23 down to 22.2. The other numbers are remaining pretty solid. He was not 2 threes per game. He was at 1.8. So just kind of a disappointing year, like not an awful year. Nobody's mad at him, but that was disappointing to me. The games and the little downtick in stats. I had to drop Drew Holiday in the Cam Dynasty. It's a 14-team deep Dynasty League. And I cut Drew Holiday. That's how bad he was last year. I also had to cut Clint Capella. And now they will presumably go in the draft. I don't know if somebody picked up Drew Holiday based on his name value. Somebody probably did. All good. He's approaching his mid-30s, and I'm not sweating it. But I had to drop Drew Holiday, dude. He was one of my original guys. You were mentioning it, dude. The Milwaukee days with Brooke and Bobby and Giannis winning a championship, and they had Dante DiVincenzo and all that. Doc, his stat line would be 18 points. 5 boards, 7 assists, 1 block, 2 steals, 3 threes. I mean, dude, Drew Holiday was getting it done. He was a fantasy stud, and those days are over. Kristaps Porzingis, just wash, rinse, repeat, right? The 42 games played. Al Horford was a disappointment to me with the games played, and frankly, took like a step down in terms of production, right? And he's, what is he, 40? How old is Al Horford? Let me get his age. Is Al Horford 40?
He's got it. I think
he is 39 and 13 days, Doc.
He
just turned 39.
His birthday was 13 days ago.
Correct.
Oh, nice.
It'll be his age 39 season next year. But anyway, he was a little bit of a disappointment for me. Offseason outlook, Doc.
I want to talk about Jaylen Brown real quick before we do that.
Yeah, sorry, man. Hit me.
I'm just not a Jaylen Brown guy, and I know I'm not a Tatum guy. Tatum at least puts up good fantasy numbers. I don't think Jaylen Brown puts up good fantasy numbers, and he gets drafted too high every year because of his name. And I'm like, as soon as I see somebody take Jaylen Brown, I'm like, thank you. Now I don't have to think about that later. And Rick, I feel like you love Jaylen Brown in fantasy. I feel like you're probably going to have him rated higher than I am. And when we're drafting together and you take Jaylen Brown, I'll send you a little message and be like, thank you, brother. You're muted again.
Sorry. I am a Jaylen Brown guy. And whatever words you used, he's just not that good of a fantasy player or something like that. Whatever those words were. What did you say exactly?
Yeah, I don't think he's that good of a fantasy player.
I mean, I would beg to differ. We're talking 22 points, almost 6 rebounds, 4.5 assists, 1.2 steals, 1.8 threes, which is an outlier. It's usually 2 plus. He's usually at 48, 47, 49, 50%. He was at 46 last year. It was a bit of a down year for him. Yeah, I'm a Jaylen Brown guy. I love what he stands for. I love his personality. I love how mean and serious and nasty he is. And he's a bully out there. I love how rocked up he is. I mean, the guy's in phenomenal. The guy could play for the damn Patriots. He's in such good shape. So I'm a big fan.
I do like Jaylen Brown. Like, as a human being and as a person, I really like him. I just think he's overdrafted in fantasy. That's all.
You're not wrong. You know why he's overdrafted, Doc? He's on the Boston Celtics, okay? I bet you Peyton Pritchard was overdrafted last year based on him being a shot. I promise you Porzingis is overdrafted. Me and Doc will never draft Porzingis, bro. Am I right?
I mean, you're exactly right. I'm never drafting Porzingis again. He went with the first pick of round 4. So what is that?
What, in 30 deep?
Yeah, 91.
91.
To get 42 games. Yeah. That person did not win 30 deep.
Neither did me or Doc, by the way. But we gave it a run, especially Doc.
I was in second. I got second.
He was in the championship round. We got to start playing for money in that league too. We got a big boy up 30 deep, man. We got a big boy up 30
everything.
deep.
I hate collecting money from people, dude.
You don't have to. It'll be Brewski's job.
I hate it. No, we don't need it.
I would actually step up and be the treasurer for 30 deep if you guys wanted to go to money. I would.
It's just love the game.
All right. I do love 30 deep. I'm constantly trying to. I'm like Jeff Van Gundy. Remember when Jeff Van Gundy used to always talk about the refs and all these rule changes, and we need to change this rule, and we need to change this rule. I'm Jeff Van Gundy of 30 deep. I'm always trying to change shit.
You really
I'm the
are.
JVG of 30 deep, bro.
So Jaylen went. What pick was he? 30 or 52nd. That's about right. That's about the right time for Jaylen Brown to go.
That's a bargain in 30 deep, bro.
52nd, 30 deep. Right after Brandon Ingram was auto drafted.
So that would make him like a 5th round pick. I mean, I can't tell you how quick I'm jumping to the mouse to take Jaylen Brown in the 5th round. 3rd round feels a little too high. 4th round, sweet spot all day, especially if he's a Celtic and no Jason Tatum. And we got a guy that's going to go 26, 27 points a game. I think Jaylen Brown is going to have an FU season, assuming that he's still on the Celtics.
With no Jason Tatum, man, it has to happen, right?
It will. I mean, we can speculate. It's gonna happen. I will guarantee you that. The only thing I can't guarantee is games played. I can guarantee you that he will be at least 25 points per game. I'm gonna be safe and conservative and call it that. He's averaged 26 before. I think he'll be at 26 or 27, but safely to guarantee it, at least 25 a game.
Hey, Rick, you care to guess where Jaylen Brown fell in 8-cat overall rankings in Basketball Monster?
Wait, 8-cat? Oh, I'm confused. Is that the regular basketball monster, or did you tweak it to another
No,
method?
it's just Basketball Monster. It's just the front page of Basketball Monster when you pull it.
Okay, understood. Let me guess. I'm gonna say he was not rated well last year at all. I'm gonna say 95.
Good guess. He's ninth round, 105th.
Even
Right
worse than I
behind him,
thought.
right behind Emmanuel Quickly and right in front of Bobby Portis.
Wow. And again, we need to tell them like that's based on deep analytics and like all of these ratios and all kinds of stuff. It's not just simple points, rebounds, assists, block, steals. Like it's a lot more than that. Which they don't. Basketball Monster loves steals and they love percentages. I have found. Like Dyson Daniels' ranking, like his overall stat line's not that impressive, but the 3 steals, even masking horrible free throw shooting, Dyson Daniels' value was like 18 or 14 or some shit. They love steals and they love percentages on Basketball Monster. I've
Are
found
you
that out.
drafting Jaylen Brown or Dyson Daniels?
Jaylen Brown, bro, all day.
The ninth,
Give me the
ninth rounder instead of where was Dyson again? Oh, 14th overall. You're going Jaylen Brown over Dyson.
every time.
Wow.
Every time. I'm gonna lose. I mean, if Jaylen Brown's going 25, 26 a game and Dyson Daniels is going to be at 13 or 14, that's kind of your deal right there. And by the way, Jaylen Brown's ancillary stats are pretty freaking good. Better rebounder than Daniels, better dimer than Daniels. Obviously, the steals is different. He's going to have more threes than Daniels. Probably going to have better percentages than Daniels. Not that I care. So that's where I'm at. Good question, though.
I'm taking Dyson Daniels every time. That's right. I think, man, people love them some Jaylen Brown, and have at it.
I love it. It is Rick Kamla. It is Steve Alexander, a.k.a. Dr. A. He's a Hall of Famer. Offseason outlook time. Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Derek White, reportedly all on the table to trade for the Boston Celtics, if for a very steep price, according to Shams Charania of ESPN. And the Steinlines, Jake Fisher. Well, let's vet this. Are the Celtics going to blow it up? Let me answer this. Trading Drew Holiday makes a ton of sense. The flagging production, you're entering a basically tank year without Tatum, right? And he's making huge money. It makes all the sense in the world to trade Drew Holiday and just get whatever you can get, right? Free up the money and all that. I would not trade Derek White. I would not trade Jaylen Brown. And I would continue to build. We just want a chip, bro. They just want a chip. I'm not tearing this thing down. I'm not going Memphis on my club because Jason Tatum blew a tire and I don't know. But what do you think? Do you think they're going to blow it up?
I don't really know. I mean, I don't think we know enough about this ownership group to really know what they're thinking or what they're going to do. With Tatum being gone for the whole year and the fact that the East is better than it used to be. And I just think we're probably never going to see that Celtics team back together again. I do kind of feel like it's going to get blown up. I don't know if they're going to trade Jaylen Brown or not. I would hope they would not trade Derek White because he is a building block. But get rid of Drew Holiday. But you're not going to win next year with that. That's the only move you make. So I kind of think they're going to blow it up, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'd just stay the course, man. Everybody thinks we got to blow it up. We got to rebuild. We got to redo this. But just no, you don't. This isn't the NFL where it's all about impatience and instant gratification and, frankly, a bunch of ADD owners and GMs. My rookie quarterback, he had a bad rookie year. We got to get a new one in here. Dude, he was a rookie. Like, what are we doing here? People got to you have to appropriately set your expectations with stuff. I don't think the Celtics are going to blow it up. Shams Charania has said, if for a very steep price, meaning if somebody blew him out of the water for Jaylen Brown or Derek White, okay, we gave us an offer we can't refuse. Drew Holiday, I believe, the fire sale is on. There's all kinds of reporting. Dallas may get him. Phoenix may get him. All these other teams. You mentioned ownership, Doc. Super high payroll. I believe the highest in league history. I believe you have the two biggest contracts in league history right now in Brown and Tatum on the same team. And so ownership is like, and I think Wick Grossbeck was talking about, we lose money most years, even when we're winning championships and stuff because of all the salary that's going out. New ownership's going to want to change that. New ownership always equals change in any industry. So I'm not saying Missoula is going to be fired or anything like that, but we will see, I believe, a Drew Holiday trade, and hopefully they check up with that. And then players to watch heading into next year, Doc, for Boston. Kind of a tough ask right now with the incompleteness. And we're about to embark in the offseason, but do your best. Who do you have your eye on for the Celtics heading into next year?
Oh, Peyton Pritchard obviously is a big one, and Sam Hauser and Luke Cornett. Hauser and Cornett played big roles on this team. They're young. Cornett was a fun DFS play. If you knew that he was going to be getting a start that night, you could kind of lock him in. So I think they're, this team has a nice mix of veterans and youth and guys that can play. The sore of thumb is Drew Holiday. Like, get him out of there and let Pritchard play more.
I have the same guys. I'm not watching Brown. I'm not watching White. I mean, if they're traded and we can, change the combo. Clearly, we're watching Tatum to see if we get any kind of timeline on, he's targeting a February return, targeting a March return. Like, I'm waiting on that so we can kind of, all right, is he going to play in the regular season or not? But for me, it's those three guys. It's Pritchard, it's Cornett, and it's Hauser, especially without Tatum. That's more shots for everybody, especially if they trade Drew Holiday. That's even more shots for them. And if they trade Jaylen Brown, it's even more shots for him. So just keeping my eye on those three guys. Let's move on to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Doc, it is the Fantasy NBA today. Rick Kamla, Hall of Famer Steve Alexander, a.k.a. Dr. A. Cavaliers, Doc, Finals MVP this year. Pardon me, I said Finals MVP. Fantasy MVP this year for the Cavaliers is who?
I don't know, man. Is it Donovan Mitchell? Is it Evan Mobley? I'm going to say Donnie Mitchell, just because of the 24 points, the 4.5 boards, 5 assists, 1.3 steals. Very low turnovers for Mitchell, too. Not that you care, but 2.1 turnovers, like half as many turnovers as Cade Cunningham. That's wild. Bunch of three balls, and it led arguably the best team in the East to the best record in the East before the playoffs got here. And then they got waxed by the Pacers, but they were banged up. They were hurt. But yeah, Donovan Mitchell is the guy for me.
It's a tough call. You can make a case for Garland. You can make a case for Evan Mobley, but I have Donovan Mitchell. Y'all know I'm a big Donovan Mitchell fan. He is largely an availability guy, and I just love the combination of threes and steals. This year, he was down a little bit in steals, down to 1.3, but he was 1.8 the year before, 1.5, 1.5. So hopefully we can get back to 1.5 a game this year. 3.3 three balls made. He's been at 3+ threes per game for 5 years now. What's his lowest scoring average? 20.5 as a rookie. He's been 20+ all 8 years in the league. I mean, so consistent, Doc. 24 points, 26, 28, 26, 26, 24, 24. And then rookie year, he was 20.5. I love him. I do. I love Donovan Mitchell. He's a second round guy for me. Like when we talk about where would you take I have no problem at all taking Donovan Mitchell in round 2. I have a feeling that maybe the blush on the rose isn't quite what it once was. I feel like Donovan Mitchell slips a little bit farther. I feel like he kind of drifts into round 3 a little bit. I don't know if you can co-sign that or if you can back that up with some ADP goodies or where he went in 30 deep. But feel like he's on my radar as soon as it hits round 2. Round 3, I adore taking Donovan Mitchell. I will take him probably middle to the back half of round 2 to get basically 25, 5, and 5 with the steal and 3 goodies. You know, his PRA was 24, 4.5, and 5. Rock solid. And had a great attendance year. Played 71 games, his most since 2018-19. So that's all I got on Donovan Mitchell. Where are you at in terms of drafting him, Doc? Is he on your radar in round 2? Is it a giddy up and go in round 3? How are you feeling about Don?
Yeah, I've got him ranked 20th on my list right now. He went 21st to Mike Gallagher in 30 deep. His fantasy ranking, I should have looked this up ahead of time, but I didn't. He was 29th. He was middle of the 3rd round value, according to Basketball Monster. So, I mean, it's kind of all sums up what you're saying. I think he's in play in the 2nd round. I think he's usually going to be drafted in the 2nd round. And I'm not usually targeting Donovan Mitchell. Like I want forwards and bigs if I can get them that are good early. But if I see Donovan Mitchell sitting there in the 3rd round, I'm probably gonna have to take him because to me he's a 2nd round guy.
I think it's really important to get points, to get the real elite scorers. Devin Booker, Anthony Edwards, Donovan Mitchell. Just the guy, whoever those guys are that are at 23, 24, 25 points a game. There aren't very many of those guys, man. Like, you are going to get double-doubles with blocks late in your draft. You are. Zach Edey, Jakob Poeltl, Jalen Duren. You're going to you do not have to hustle at all at the center position. You do have to hustle at the forward positions, especially power forward. But I can't, that's the Dyson Daniels versus these big-time scorers debate, Doc. I feel like if I pass up a 25 PPG guy to take a 14 PPG guy and everybody else in my round is taking a 20-plus PPG guy, I feel like I'm hemorrhaging there. And I don't like that. So there aren't, by the time you get to round 4, the 20-plus point per game guys are basically gone off the board. And especially if they're providing goodies with those points. So I like to go and get those big time scores early. I mean, you combine the scoring with all the other goodies. I'm not trying to take a guy that's in a silo that early in a draft, but I think it's a mistake to go too category specific early in drafts where you're targeting threes or steals or something like that. And you're passing on guys that are averaging 25, 26 points a game. I personally think that's a mistake. All right. Surprising players for the Cavaliers last year, Doc. You get a chance here to talk about your boy. You get a chance to talk about your boy, Doc.
Who, Ty Jerome?
Ty Jerome, your boy.
Oh, man. Ty Jerome.
Could not do a show last year without you talking about Ty Jerome.
Ty Jerome was pretty surprising. 12.5 points, 2.5 boards, 3.5 assists, a steal. Hit some threes, got 3 starts. He had some big games, man. And if you rolled with Ty Jerome on a night when he had a big game, it felt really good because he's straight up waiver wire fodder, straight off the waiver wire into your lineup, and then he goes off. And I feel like when DeAndre Hunter came over to the team, it sort of took away some of the luster that Ty Jerome had, but man, if Mitchell or Garland was out, it was really fun playing Ty Jerome. So I enjoyed that. Jarrett Allen played 82 games and started all 82 of them and was really an anchor, a big man anchor for this team that was really, really good. So that was good. Jarrett Allen has come a long way, I feel like. Other than that, I mean, Darius Garland was very good. Mitchell was great. Mobley was great. Not a lot of surprises on this team.
Ty Jerome is on my list. Evan Mobley, Doc, because it was talked about, it was theorized. One of the reasons that Kenny Atkinson got this job was going to be the exploration and the blossoming of Evan Mobley. We talked a lot about this. I was relatively high on him going into last year, but to talk about it and it's a theory and then have it pay off, and he has the year that we all thought he could have was cool and a little bit surprising. 18.5 points, career high. 9.3 boards, just off a career high. 3.2 assists, career high. 0.9 steals, career high. 1.6 blocks, just off his career high. 1.2 threes, by far a career high. Shot 37% from three, 56% overall, 72% from the line, played 71 games. There's not a lot not to like about that stat line, folks, and I think he will become a 1-1-1 guy this year with block, steals, and threes. And the three ball, I think, is only going to continue to go up for Evan Mobley. Maybe 1.5, 1.6. You can't have it all right away. But the fact that it was all talked about, Kenny Atkinson, blah, 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 bam, then it happened. A little bit surprising, but also super cool. And I will tell you this definitively, Doc. I did not think Darius Garland was going to have near the season that he had. This guy was an all-star, bro. He wasn't on my preseason all-star team. I can tell you that right now. Dude, the stat line's amazing. And he played 75 games. 20.6 points, 3 rebounds, almost 7 assists, 1.2 steals, 2.8 threes, and he went 47, 40, 88. He almost had a 50, 40, 90, dude. That was surprising to me that, I don't know, just a lot of mouths to feed, right? You got, and the whole narrative too was that Mitchell and Garland can't thrive together. And they did exactly that this year.
The thing that's crazy about Cleveland, and it's surprising, is we could legitimately sit here and make an argument that any of their 5 starters was the MVP of that team. Because Garland was awesome. Like you said, he was an all-star. He's not supposed to be able to play with Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell was fantastic. He's not supposed to be able to play with Darius Garland. Mobley and Jarrett Allen were both awesome. So it's pretty cool. I guess those 4 guys, not the 5th starter, which was what? Ike Okoro and Max Strus.
Max Strus.
Yeah, just kind of. Max Strus was okay, but you could really argue that any of those 4 guys are their MVP.
I agree. That's why I completely disagreed with Donovan Mitchell being first-team All-NBA. To me, that's an absolute joke. He was a huge player for Cleveland, but they had 3 other huge players on that team. And like you, I think it's debatable too who their fantasy MVP is. I think it's debatable in reality who their MVP is. You could definitely say Evan Mobley was their MVP in reality, and not sound dumb. We want you to visit sportsethos.com and check out all of our great work and brilliant minds over there at sportsethos.com. We want you to subscribe. The prices are as low as they're going to be, and our grandfather programs make your subscription price incredibly cheap as we keep adding more and more value to the platform. So go to sportsethos.com, lock in your rates now, and enjoy. Disappointing players for the Cleveland Cavaliers. There weren't many of them, Doc, in a 64-win season for them.
No, there really weren't. Karis LeVert probably counts as disappointing just because he didn't really do that much. Isaac Okoro, always disappointing. Craig Porter Jr., how about that? That's a big name, a lot of hype. 51 games, 3.7 points per game for Craig Porter. I don't know if that's ever coming. And then DeAndre Hunter, I thought once he got there from the Hawks, 14 points, 4 rebounds, just not a lot there. But he was up against it, man, trying to compete for shots with those other 4 guys already there.
Disappointing for me, Doc, Max Strus and Isaac Okoro. It's tough. It's tough. You have Ty Jerome there. You brought in DeAndre Hunter. They got a lot of guys. The core 4 eat up a lot of minutes, a lot of usage rate, a lot of shots. So it's tough. You got to get in where you fit in, get ready to just catch and shoot. But Max Strus, I thought he'd have better numbers than he had. Isaac Okoro is now on the trade market. That's how bad of a season he had. Totally bottomed out with the three-point shooting. So, offseason outlook for the Cleveland Cavaliers. There has been speculation, Doc, that Darius Garland could be traded this offseason. Recent reports suggest that they're unlikely to actively shop him, although the team will listen to offers. They're not actively trying to trade him. What that means is for the right price, you can come get Darius Garland. I personally don't understand this. It may be a money thing. Small market team. Allen's paid a bunch of money. Wait a minute. Evan Mobley hasn't been paid yet, has he? I don't believe he has. So to me, I don't like it. Trading Garland. Mobley has been paid. 5 years, $224. All right. So he's paid. Allen's paid. I mean, damn, Strus is at $15 million a year, Doc. You want to talk about an overpay? I told everybody on NBA radio when they signed, I go, they gave him $22 million a year or whatever it was. Maybe it wasn't that much, but I was like, they overpaid Strus, bro. And they did. Mitchell's under contract long-term. Garland's under contract long-term. So that speaks to me that maybe ownership is like, yo, we've got to get out of the second apron, blah, blah, blah. But, Doc, doesn't Cleveland drift back significantly in the Eastern Conference if they trade Darius Garland?
I mean, was the ending to their playoff run disappointing? Absolutely. Was their regular season run incredible? Yes, it was. And you I mean, trading Darius Garland, you're throwing everything up in the air. You're like, all bets are off the table. Like, are we still going to be good? And I just don't think you mess with a team that won. How many games did they win?
64.
I was going to say 63. With 64-win team, you don't mess with that. So you just pay who you got to pay and move on.
It's easy for us to say, but I'm with you. And even if you've got to be a second apron team for 1 year, then you can get out the next year and cleanse, and it's not overly punitive. It is for that 1 year when you're in the second apron, but when you are consistently year after year in the second apron, that's when they start taking away draft picks. And these front offices are beyond spooked. It's like Jason Voorhees is at their door with a machete. That's how spooked they are by all that apron and stuff like that. No first round pick for Cleveland. So you and me are both saying run it back. If you're Cleveland, 64 wins, you had some injuries in the playoffs, you can sort of massage your brain with that. Come back this year with Strus, with DeAndre Hunter, with all these guys. Ty Jerome, though, Doc, may be on the move. He is a free agent. Sam Merrill, Tristan Thompson, Javonte Green, Amani Bates, Chuma Okeke, Luke Travers, whoever that is. Those are your free agents. Do you have any idea who Luke Travers is?
I do not.
Is he the tall dude with the mullet? I think he's the tall dude with the mullet. Look him up. Luke Travers, images. I think I'm right. Anyway, back to our story here. I know Andre will have the goods on him. He'll be like, he played in Belgium in 2019, and he played in the Philippines in 2020. Andre's got the goods on all these guys, man. I'm telling you. Do you think, bottom line, do you think Ty Jerome will be back with the Cleveland Cavaliers?
If he's unrestricted, I doubt it.
Yeah, me too.
I seriously doubt it.
Me too.
I feel like once the guy's unrestricted, like the highest bidder gets him, and it's rarely the team that they played for. He never played in Belgium, but he was in Australia.
And what Andre says he is, are you saying that he is the guy, the guy tall dude with the mullet?
Yes.
He is the tall. Woo! That's a victory for your boy. I got one on Barkley and Shaq with that. The who he played for on Inside the NBA. Luke Travers. Yeah, he's the guy with the mullet. I mean, at least I could identify the guy. I think he played his college ball at Baylor, if I'm not mistaken. I know Andre will have the good. Oh, he's Australian. I guess that's the mullet. Just kidding. I have no idea if Aussies rock mullets. Is that an Aussie thing to rock a mullet, or is that just a Luke Travers thing?
I don't know. Does Giddy have a mullet?
Kind of. He's just got a lot of hair, man. I don't know how to quantify what he's got going on. But enough about hair. He said Travers opted to forego college basketball in the United States to begin his professional career in Australia. So I'm thinking about a different tall dude with a mullet who played for Baylor. I'm thinking about a different dude. So that was a completely random guess that I got that right. But Luke Travers has a mullet. I got that right. Dude, that was a wild stab in the dark. Who are you watching next year, heading into next year for the Cavaliers? Dr. A?
Oh, let me get back to I was on a trip to Australia looking at mullets there for a second. Forgot.
Yeah, in a barber shop. Let it grow.
Forgot where I was. Dude, I can't wait to see where Ty Jerome, my boy, ends up, because I'll be fired up about that. If he goes to a team like Phoenix that needs a point guard, I'll be all jacked up about Ty Jerome. But other than that, off season, like let's get everybody healthy and running back, man. I really don't want to make any changes to this team. I'm not drafting DeAndre Hunter under any circumstances. Now he's 6-man for Cleveland instead of a starter for the Hawks.
Agreed, Doc. Look, the trade market with Garland, that's something to really watch and monitor. Evan Mobley is a guy, Doc, because I still think there's upside here. I feel like there is a 2010 guy in Evan Mobley. We just haven't seen it yet. I feel like there's 2 blocks in Evan Mobley. Eventually, there will be 2 3-balls a game from Evan Mobley. So we're on the ascent right now. It's really, really fun. And I would highly recommend drafting Evan Mobley next year. Let's talk about him from a draft perspective, because I agree on DeAndre Hunter. Now that he's a bench player, I'm not into it. But let's talk about Evan Mobley from a draft perspective, because Evan Mobley, Doc, is going to begin to enter my radar in round 3. I forget the big man that we were talking about. Oh, Jaren Jackson Jr. Like I would love to get him in round 3. And I would say the same thing here. I would love to get Evan Mobley in round 3. Top of round 3, maybe the end of round 2. But again, round 2 for me is I'm snatching up a 25 PPG guy, like a Devin Booker. I love taking Devin Booker in round 2. With the assists, with the 3-balls. He's not a steal guy. Good efficiency from Booker, not that I care. But he's giving me, next year without Durant, Booker might be 30 a game, bro. So those are the guys I'm looking for in round 2. But I feel like Evan Mobley's a good 3rd-round pick. How about you?
I've got him at 24 on my list. He was drafted 40th in 30 deep last year. So, yeah, I think round 3 is the sweet spot for Mobley. If you can get him in round 4, I think you're getting an absolute steal. Round 3 is where he belongs, and I'll kind of take a look at him right at the end of round 2 and going into round 3. So I don't think I would draft him in round 2.
Pardon me, Doc. We're on the same page here. I think if he makes it to the 3rd round, I feel like we're getting value and kind of stealing a little bit. He won't make it to the 4th round. And we're talking about a 12-team league, okay? In a 10-team league, maybe. But in a 12-team league, he ain't going to make it to the 4th round. I have, in my top 50 right now, Doc, I have him at 20 for Evan Mobley. So I've got him at the end of round 2. Yeah, again, if he spills over to the beginning of round 3, snatch him, don't wait. And if you got to do what you got to do at the end of the 2nd round, then I would recommend that as well. I tell you what the banger would be is if you went late 2nd round and got Mobley and then came early 3rd round back and got Jaren Jackson Jr., bro. That is what I'm talking about. Like, and merge it with, like, in the 1st round, let's see, you would be going, you would have gone high in the draft to be late. Am I right about? Yeah, late in the 2nd round, early 3rd round.
You'd have Wemby or Luke or Wemby or Jokic
SGA or one of those guys, and then you just drop in Evan Mobley and Jaren Jackson Jr. That's the goodie squad, dude. That's the goodie squad. I think it's a huge advantage to go high in the draft. Do you?
Dude, I love having that 2nd and 3rd pick being back to back. Yeah. I've got Mobley ranked 24th on my list, and I've got Jaren Jackson Jr. at 25. So that would exact. So you take Jokic first, and then you get the 25th pick, and you take Evan Mobley, and then you get the 26th pick, and you take Jaren Jackson Jr., and you are cruising to a championship.
Just saying.
You might need a point guard at some point, but
dude, there's going to be a million of them in the later rounds. There always are. I have Jaren Jackson Jr. at 22. I have Evan Mobley at 20. Now, with the Bane trade, I would rather have Jaren Jackson Jr. than Evan Mobley as we sit here right now. I know I'm getting two threes. I know I'm getting 2 blocks. I'm going to get a steal plus as well. Going to score more than Mobley. Mobley will board and dime more than Jackson Jr., but not by much. Actually, the boards, there will be a decent little gap there. I would probably flip that with the Bane trade now. I'd probably put JJJ at 20 and Mobley at like 21 and then J-Dub at 22 with that little cluster right there. And I have Jaylen Brown right on their heels. So that's it, dude. Anything else you want to tell the people before we get out of here, Doc?
No, I misspoke. If you have the first pick, you're going to have 24 and 25 coming back. So that's exactly where I have Mobley and JJJ is 24, 25. I said 25, 26 because I'm bad at math and I'm stupid.
Neither is
fun
true.
show today, dude. We got off to an interesting start this morning, but it all worked out in the end. We did it. We did it, man. We did it. So we'll, anyway, we really appreciate you guys. Again, another reminder, go to your favorite app store, get the Sports Ethos app. It's completely free. And go to sportsethos.com and subscribe to our work. It's very, very cost effective for you, especially if you're monetizing it with investment decisions that we will help you win with. Big thanks to my buddy, my dear friend, my brother from another mother, Steve Alexander. Big shout out to Andre Lemus, the best producer in the biz, even though he says he's not a producer, but he's actually a producer and he's the best in the biz. But he's very humble. He's blushing right now over there in Latvia. He's blushing right now as we speak. And he about to go down in 30 deep, in Cam Dynasty. But anyway, we really appreciate you guys watching us. Retweet our stuff. Let them all know that we're still rocking the fantasy conversation in the off season. And we will see you next time. This episode's been brought to you by Bet Online.